Jay Simon's Morning Blend. Here we are with Chris Wolsey again, and we're going to be talking about chicken soup for the soul. But let's talk about some other stuff first. Talk about what you have going on, then we'll get to the special stuff.
Okay, so we've got just some great titles for Chicken Soup for the Soul. As a lot of you know, this is a free streaming channel. A lot of the content there is geared towards women, but it's not just your typical home and garden and cooking shows. We have all kinds of great content that women are super passionate about. We've got Women's History Month coming up next month, and we're going to have a ton of great things on there. But we also have crime shows, true crime, documentaries, fashion, all kinds of great things. But this month, we have a ton of great Black History Month content. So we're really excited about a lot of these titles, James. And so I'm actually discovering some hidden gems that I had never seen before. One of those is I'm a gigantic Danny Glover fan. I think he's he's one of my favorite actors of all time. And we've got a great Danny Glover film called Good Fences that he and Whoopi Goldberg play this young, upwardly mobile Black couple. He's sort of the hot ticket in the legal world, and they decide that they want to move to a really nice neighborhood. And so they move to this nice white suburban neighborhood in Connecticut. And you can imagine the sort of interesting situations that ensue. And it's a really well-written film. And their performances, obviously, with the two of them are spectacular, but it's very interesting the way the story unfolds. Not only is there blowback from the white neighborhood that they're moving into, but there's also a lot of interesting interactions with their Black friends and their Black family, having them move into a white community. So I thought it was a great film. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of these two actors, but Good Fences, I highly recommend.
Anything else for Black History Month?
Yeah, we've got another one starring Whoopi, and that is The Long Walk Home. And that is about the famous Montgomery bus boycott. And so that is starring Whoopi Goldberg and Sissy Spacek, and kind of takes the perspective of a Black person during the bus boycott and a white person during the bus boycott. And kind of, Sissy Spacek's put into an interesting situation because she's like, well, I want to support what's going on, but I have no way to get home. So like she sort of joins with her friend and sister Whoopi Goldberg, but it's a really good, touching story. And I'm a big fan of these performers, so highly recommended. We also have a great one called Through Her Eyes, which is a fictionalized account of a young student named Rosalie Winbush. And that is about school segregation. So it kind of takes you through the journey of a kind of timid young woman who makes a very, like a lot of people did at that time, a very brave and costly choice to go to a school that was being integrated for the first time in history, and kind of just gives you a little perspective on what that experience might have been.
Wow, you got a lot going on for Chicken Soup for the Soul, man. That's going on. You were talking about the women's channel for Chicken Soup for the Soul. The question would be, do they have any advice for the Super Bowl Sunday when the husbands are glued to the TV and the wives are just sitting there like, what is going on? Here we go again, once a year, every year, for almost 12 hours, really.
Oh, yeah.
It's Super Bowl Sunday, and I do not have my husband.
See, in my house, it's the exact opposite, because my wife is the big football fan, and I'm usually like cooking hors d'oeuvres for all of our friends while it's going on. And then they just whenever they shout, I run in the room and see what's happening. But it's a great, to your point, great question. And yes, we do. We have a ton of great things for women. And I think we've talked about this before, but I just recently learned that the largest audience for crime content is actually women, not men. And so women watch more, whether it's true crime, documentaries, or fictional scripted crime shows. Women watch that more than men do. And we actually have a ton on Chicken Soup for the Soul. One of my favorites right now is a show that we got as part of our BBC deal, and it's called From Darkness. And it's a limited series that the BBC put out. It is fantastic. So this is about a woman who is a police detective, really in the thick of it. She, worked on serial killer cases and all these awful things, kind of got burned out, had to pull herself, just for her own mental well-being, had to pull herself out of that world and kind of find a new way to do police work that wasn't quite that intense. And as soon as she gets settled, a case from her past reignites, and she's called back in and has to get back into that world that was so difficult for her. It is fantastic. If you like crime, scripted shows, From Darkness is definitely one the ladies are going to love.
Yeah, Cold Case Files. Here we go.
Exactly. That's it.
All right, you got it going on. Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chris Woolsey, thank you so much. We will talk to you the following week. Well, actually, another month about Crackle again.
That's right. James, we've got a ton coming in March. Just wait.
All right. Thank you again.
Thanks, James.